Welcome back, everybody. Today's going to be a bit different. I'm getting into sharing with you the homeopathic remedies that I prepare. On my About Me page, please go to that and click the link to the legal disclaimer that's listed there. This video and all of its contents are for entertainment purposes only. If you have any illnesses or physical infirmities that you need to have checked out, please consult your physician. And let's move on. So today I'm going to be making a migraine pain relief tea decoction kind of thing. It's a two-part recipe, and feverfew, yarrow, and chamomile are the main components. And the ginger and the vodka and the turmeric that's hiding back over here, we're going to be making tinctures that are separate. And those are really fun to have, and you use just a little bit of time. You can put it in a beverage, you can just put it in your mouth, and tinctures are wonderful, and they're very good homeopathic remedies out there that can really provide a lot of relief. So to begin with, and especially because I have a horrible barometric pressure headache today, let's do the migraine / pain relief tea, infusion / decoction. Decoction. I have the worst time saying that word. Now, what is a decoction? A decoction is simply this. What we have here is, it's a small saucepan, stainless steel. If you do decide to get into homeopathic remedies, I strongly advise investing in some basic equipment. Primarily, your first and foremost, of course, is organic, wisely sourced herbs, if you're not growing them yourself. However, when it comes to decoctions and infusions and that kind of thing, you want a good saucepan. And I highly advocate stainless steel. Do not use aluminum. Do not use silicone coated or Teflon coated pans. It's not a good idea. It's not good for your health. Stick with stainless steel, okay? And in this, I'm going to be adding feverfew, which is what we'll make our first decoction with. So let me get that set up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so this is a pretty easy deal here. What's going to happen is, this is my feverfew. It is organic. I did not grow this myself. I'm actually growing it this year. But this I got from a reputable source. And feverfew is excellent for a number of things. It's great for fevers. It is great for pain, migraines, that kind of thing. It's kind of an all-purpose, but a very strong herb to combat a lot of pain issues. So for when I do this, what I do is I just take a nice little teaspoon, and I just do 2, probably tablespoons, not teaspoons. Basically, when you're doing things like this, you want to do equal parts of, well, not equal parts, but say you want 2 parts. Well, parts actually translates into basically an even amount, whether it's a teaspoon or a tablespoon. So you're going to do 2 parts or 2 tablespoons of your herb. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nice hot water here. I am going to put the burner on. And I should have measured that, but generally it's going to be 2 cups. There, we'll call that 2 cups. And the reason for that is because, I'm going to turn the heat on here, is because this right here will boil. Basically, it's not a hard boil, but a decoction, I told you I had trouble saying that. Decoction is, you're going to boil, but not boil hard. So you're going to do that for 20 to 30 minutes. So I've got about 2 cups of water, because 1 cup is for the decoction, but we're going to add to that and create an infusion on the second half of the recipe. So let me get my wooden spoon and just give it a quick stir. Just to kind of get everybody soft and wet in the water there. I do not have, I don't think, I'm going to try this and see if this lid fits. Well, yeah, it does. It works. It's not the lid for this pan, but it'll work. I actually have ordered 2 new saucepans for my herbal work, so they're not going to be here for about another week. Anyways, we're going to bring this up to a boil, and again, not a hard boil. So as soon as it starts boiling, you're going to turn it down to like medium high, and just keep that going. You're not going to simmer it, you will boil it. Then you'll set your timer for 20 to 30 minutes. Once that's done, we'll go to the next step, which is straining off the liquid into a bowl right here. Then we're going to take that same liquid and we're going to infuse it with the rest of our healing herbs, which will be yarrow and chamomile. So let's get this to a boil and then we'll move on. Okay, we have finished our decoction. It is ready to pour and strain. So I just have a little Tupperware bowl here and a strainer. So I'm just going to hang on to that and strain out our liquid. I'm going to set that aside. And I do not reuse the herbs in any way, shape, or form. You want them at their optimum strength. So now that we have that, let's make the infusion part. Now the infusion part is very simple. We have chamomile and we have yarrow. And the only thing that we are going to do is I have a tea bob here with its lid. And I'm going to do 1 part each. One part each of the yarrow and 1 part of the chamomile. Then all we're going to do is basically, you're going to make yourself a cup of tea. So what I'm going to do here is take my mug, I'm going to scooch this over here, and I'm going to set my tea bob in the cup, throw in some organic raw honey, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pour that fenugreek decoction over the top of the yarrow and the chamomile. And then to fill up the rest of the cup, I'm just going to top it with some water from the kettle. And then I'm going to let this infuse for 5 to 7 minutes. And then we drink it. And all the nasty headaches, aches, and pains go bye-bye. This is very popular. Fenugreek. I have fenugreek on the brain for some reason. Feverfew is also very good for menstruation problems, and it's also excellent for tummy issues, indigestion, anything like that, bloating, gas, even colic. So if you have a baby, you know that might be something to look into. So I'm just going to let this sit for 5 to 7 minutes, and then we're going to move on to our next little project. Welcome back, my friends. And now we're going to be making tinctures. Tinctures are very good. There are non-alcoholic ways of creating tinctures. There's apple cider vinegar that you can use, vinegars basically. I prefer to use the alcohol. You get a much longer shelf life. Tinctures made with alcohol will last you between 3 and 5 years. So they're very good to have on hand. If they're stored properly, you've got them forever. Now, the alcohol in question is just a straight up vodka, nothing fancy about it. Nice middle of the road price. I think this was about $25. And I can make a lot of tinctures with this. In my jar here is turmeric powder. Please, if you decide to use turmeric, please be very aware of how easily it will stain everything. And I do mean everything. So be very, very deliberate when using it and be vigilant as to where it travels to. In the case, as you can see right here on my cutting board, it's already going to leave a stain, but it's my cutting board, so it's okay. It is not harmful, of course. It's an herb that's good for you, but it will stain anything and everything, even if it's a sealed surface. So please be mindful of that. Now, this is a pint jar, and in that I have about 1/4 of the turmeric powder, and I used my funnel to try and, contain the mess. And what I'm going to do is I'm doing my ratio, because it's a powder, it's very fine. I'm going to go 1/4 of the powder and then probably 3/4 of the way up the jar. It is basically your ratios will determine how strong your tincture is, and how long it sits will also determine how long or how strong your tincture will be. But I'm just going to fill it up to a certain point in the jar. And I'm actually going to go a bit more, and let's just pour it in. Let's do that. Okay, that should be good right about there. Now, I'm going to take that out, and again, because it's got turmeric over it, we're going to take it right to the sink. Now, I'm good. I don't need this anymore, so we're just going to set that aside. And now we've got our liquid. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the lid on, and this is how incredibly difficult making a tincture is. It's all in the shake. Okay, we've got it all off the bottom. There's your tincture. Now this is going to sit in a dark pantry. Well, you can put it in your pantry in your kitchen, down below if you do canned goods. I'm going to put it in my apothecary, and it's going to sit for a minimum of 4 weeks, preferably 6 to 8. The longer it sits, the more potent it becomes. Now this, when it is fully set and it is, had its time that it needs, and we're going to shake this every day, just a little bit, just to be sure that we don't have anything sitting on the bottom and everything is nicely coated. Then we're going to take this and strain this, and then the finished liquid will be our tincture. And we'll put that in a dark colored bottle with a dropper. And dosage, it all depends on what you're doing. For something like turmeric or the other things that I'm about to do, like the ginger and the feverfew, it is a very simple thing. You're not going to get drunk on it. You're not going to, obviously if you don't want to use alcohol, you can use other ways to do this. Like I said, apple cider vinegar or a strong vinegar base is sufficient. But it's not going to have, you're not going to be guzzling this like a cocktail. So you're going to be taking it by the eyedropper full, and I believe a full eyedropper is a teaspoon. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish for what remedy you want, do your own research. You will find that it's something you can include in a meal. You can throw it in sparkling water. You can just take it straight, and you just pop it down the hatch, and you're good to go. So this one's done. And every time you make something like this, you need to label it, date it, put the ingredients on it, and the dosage. So this is going to get set aside, and it will be stored away for the next 6 to 8 weeks for me. Now, for our next one, again, super easy. I'm actually going to be doing a ginger root tonic, or not tonic, tincture. I get my T's messed up. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take a mason jar, pint-sized, and here is a whole ginger root. Now I'm going to make this pretty strong, and you don't need to peel this. You just need to basically cut it up. So, and it doesn't even have to be super small pieces either. All I'm going to do is separate the knobs. And pieces like this, I'll probably just cut in half so that we have just some nice pieces, and boop, in the jar they go. You do not have to peel it. You're not going to be consuming it. You just want to cut it up so that the ginger itself can infuse the alcohol. And that's what creates your medicine. And ginger is fantastic, obviously, for stomach issues. And it is also anti-inflammatory. It's good for the tummy. And it's also good for things like aches and pains. So ginger's, again, you'll find once you get into this, that one's a little bit big. Once you get into this, you'll discover just how cohesive the plant world is. The plants tend to play very well with each other, which is why if you notice when you do your research or your readings, you will discover that a lot of herbs, a lot of flowers, roots, and seeds and things, they will actually complement one another when put together. So a little something for you to look at. Now this one is going to be even less precise because we just have our pieces of fresh whole ginger in there. We're just going to top it off with our lovely friend vodka. This one I'm going to fill up pretty good, probably to about the neck. And cap that, and again, we will label, date it, put the ingredients and the dose on the bottle. That way when we strain it, and yes, we will shake this too, even though it's got, larger pieces in it, we are still going to give it a shaky shake. And it's not just to disperse ingredients. When you're doing tinctures, you want to give it a shake to not only disperse everything in the alcohol evenly, but it also prevents any potential mold or bacteria buildup because it dislodges them. Once they're dislodged and all the yummy alcohol, they die. Can't beat it. So we have that one. And then the last one is going to be our feverfew, and I am currently growing feverfew, thank goodness, but I am going to be using the last of it to actually make just a straight up tincture out of it. And as we know, with the feverfew, it's excellent for anti-inflammatory properties. It is great for the tummy. It is great for migraines. It is great for arthritis. It's wonderful, a wonderful, wonderful herb. Now, I'm actually not going to, even though these are both pints, I'm not going to keep it in this. I'm actually going to put it in here and see if I can do this without spilling. Yay. And that's, again, about a quarter of the bottle. I'm going to go ahead and bring out my buddy here and get it topped. And again, I'm probably going to bring this one up to its neck also. And keep in mind, you're thinking, well, gosh, it's $25 for a bottle of vodka. You can go through a lot of vodka making all these separate tinctures. Well, here's the thing. You've got your $25 bottle of hooch over here, and you're making, pint jars of each individual tincture mix. The thing is, though, once this is strained and it has sat, done its time, and it's strained, you're probably going to get 8 to 10 1-ounce bottles of tincture, finished tincture. So you're going to be able to take this and put it into many different products or bottles for a finished product, I should say. Once again, don't forget when you're doing this to label, date, instructions, and ingredients on this. Do not think you will remember, because just like when gardening and you say the famous words, oh, I'll remember what that is. No, you will not. No, you will not remember that. Always label, label, label. And also, for anybody in your home, will find this jar and know exactly what it is and not to play with it. So that's it, my friends. We are embarking on our herbal journey together. I love the fact that you have joined me, and I really look forward to sharing all of the things that I have learned with homeopathic remedies, working with nature, working with the spirits of nature. It's a very magical journey, and I'm incredibly excited to bring you along with me. Thank you for joining me, and if you liked it, hey, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd like to see you again. Please tell a friend. I love you guys. Take care, and blessings to you all.